Hi, I am fixing my headphones. There we go. So, hello everyone. Welcome to special, I guess, face cam edition of Monday Night Modding. That's kind of loud. Sorry for the late start. I was getting my laptop set back up, but this was technically an impromptu stream anyways. So, alright. I'm starting to use my laptop to look at the chat. So it's... There we go. Alright, so we should be good now. I don't know if my microphone's in a good spot for this. I'll move it. I invited other devs. I don't know if they're going to come, but we'll see. So, earlier in the week we were working on setting up some mission systems in Fall of the Republic. We're going to basically be working on that again. I would do drunk modding, but I don't have any alcohol right now. I threw out the tequila after last stream. That was all I had left. Or technically I do have one cooler left, but it's not very good. So, so in this stream we're basically just going to be working on some mod stuff. Trying to get more of the intervention missions going. The Republic currently has 3 that are fairly generic. I'm probably going to start by converting that to the CIS. So I really wish... Is there like a dark theme for Windows Explorer? That would be so much better. But that'll mean we go into library, Fall of the Republic, missions, and we'll want to open CIS Accumulate if it's not already, which it is. This is not going to need to change right now. This is going to need to stay open. Rep Conquer Planet. We're just going to copy Mission Manager. This is standard and that's not changing. Planet's fine. Rep Accumulate. We're going to be no. Yes, we need this open. Because we are going to be restructuring this to be the same as this. Because this has changed now. Why is this not scrolling properly? There we go. Yeah, that tequila was absolutely terrible. There is a dark theme. Right, maybe I'll look into that after the stream. So yeah, the way this was working before is it would check if the mission was active, so it wouldn't be able to reassign it. But because this is in a different thread, it's not actually able to modify this. So this is no longer necessary. This is no longer necessary. We need... this. So it's basically kept running separately from the rest of the mod scripting environment. And so this way it checks if the mission is already running. If it is, it does nothing. If it's not, it restarts it and goes into here. So this can go away. Plot reset. That's the same. This is all the same. We've moved the rewards to spawning through the Lua as well. So we're going to grab that. And CIS instead of Republic. which means rebel, which means CIS. And for this one, the reward is munificence. Is that okay? Yeah, that's checking for the right thing. That's all right. This is all just gotta move over here. And then I just need to make sure this gets put there, and there, and there, and there. And now that should all be... should all be converted now. All right. Let's move you. Here we go. That's fine. Okay. And we will... Rep Shipyards and Rep Conquer need to be copied because we are... So for these three, it's going to be the same structure for each faction. It's just the flavor text that kind of changes them. And then beyond that, they're all going to be fairly unique. But with these, it's like get a certain amount of credits, conquer a planet, and build some shipyards. So open you guys. So these are going to be fairly simple to just convert into the other faction. So data, XML, conquests, Clone Wars progressive. Revision accumulate CIS. Upgrade station. So we're just going to copy these and change rep to CIS in here. I went with the Bespin theme for Notepad because Star Wars, so you can't pander to me. All right. Conquest, then we need to go into mission files. And I'm going to open accumulate because there was a change made there, I think. Yeah. Technically, we could use the exact same file for each. It's just... we need to make sure that the correct one gets loaded by the files. So they're pretty much going to be identical in the XML for it, because they're fairly standardized. So this becomes CIS. This becomes CIS. We open those. You can see there's nothing in here that's especially faction specific. These are just kind of container files that get called by the Lua. Okay. So we have that. The last thing we need is to go into scripts and story. We are going into scripts and story. Then we are going to copy build shipyard and conquer planet. And we are going to place there. Like anyone who tells you that modding isn't glamorous, they're telling you the truth. We need these open as well. Yeah, it's a special Thursday edition of Monday Night Modding, but the name just sounds better as Thursday Night Modding. Branding is important. Which, speaking of, we're probably going to be renaming the mod. Not Fall of the Republic, that's going to stay. But Imperial Civil War is likely not going to remain Imperial Civil War. Can I make the text bigger here? Yeah, I guess I can. That's better. My laptop being that far. Maybe I'm just old. Oh god. Let's not think about that. Alright, we want mission CIS as well. So that's going to be open. Let's open the text. Well, first off, let's make sure I have everything up to date here. And open the text file. All right. I'm not sure I like this. Oh well, I'll figure out a better theme later. I wonder if I can modify that. I probably can. The saving and exiting of ICW takes several minutes each. That's basically just how Empire at War is. You can't really change that. You just have to let it do what it's doing. Petroglyph changed how the game saves work. So game saves work. So it's takes a while now. They did that 2 years ago to stop the saves from crashing on load. But one of the side effects is that people think, oh, the game's frozen. I'm just going to quit out of this and then try to load the save anyways. And they're like, hey, my save doesn't work. But yeah. So just let it do what it's doing and it'll finish eventually. I did get rid of the tequila. Alright, we want Mission CIS. And we're going to compare it to Missions Republic. Because right now, again, just... One and random number between 1 and 3. Accumulate mission. They're all going to be named similarly for these ones. CIS. Mission CIS. Mission CIS. Alright. Yay. Yeah, don't worry about it. I know it's annoying, but the exiting you can actually stop from taking as long because it's the reason it's taking as long is because it's autosaving. If you set your autosave file to read only, then it won't try. Well, it'll try, it just won't be able to access the file. But we are now free to go. You ever considered modding Battlefront 2 2005? I don't really like that game, to be honest. So it's not really something that I want to get into modding, especially when it's already so old. Oh, thank you. Streams with Eck and Charlie are epic. Have money. Thank you. Yeah, those are definitely fun streams. Hopefully we'll be able to get back to that soon. And I'll actually record it for my channel. Because I keep not starting to record whenever we're doing that. CIS. Mission. CIS, build shipyards. Oh, crap. Shipyard mission observer, CIS. CIS build shipyards observer thread. Copy. Paste. 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 Mission CIS build shipyards. And let's see. I think it's NR. NR space station. Yeah, NR underscore starbase 2 is what we want. So we want Rebel, NR underscore starbase. Yeah, I significantly prefer Battlefront, the original Battlefront 1. And I don't have the same nostalgia for Battlefront 2 that a lot of people have. I didn't love it when it came out. So, like, I'm sure mods make it better, but it's not a game that I really care to learn how to mod, so... This needs to be CIS. If I was going to start modding another game, I'd probably do, like, Stellaris or something. Homeworld 3. Right, we need to change this to that. And I'm thinking the Techno Union for the Conquering one. And the Trade Federation for the Starbase upgrade one. So, Fall of the Republic, data, scripts, story, no, wait, yes, story. Because it's government handler, CIS. This is where they're all defined. So we want Techno Union for this one, which is CIS Conquer Planet. So let's actually put that in. Like, I did the campaign for base game Battlefront 2 last year, I want to say. And I don't think there's a playthrough I've done that I've enjoyed less. Yeah, this is Lewis script. It's run by Lua. How is it different than Battlefront? All right, was that two? I think that might be two different thoughts. This needs to be CIS. And our starbase. Okay, we just need a different reward. So, since this is going to be Trade Federation. What unit do I want to give for the Trade Fed? Probably not a Lucrehulk. That would be ridiculous. Ooh, MTTs would be cool. So we don't use... Yeah, let's do MTTs. For the Republic. CS ground units. This needs to be moved into the units file. God, yeah, this is going to be terrible for actually coding in, so I will need to change that. But oh well. Architens. There we go. Yeah, that campaign is just I cannot stand that campaign. I understand that some people like it. I'm not telling people they're wrong for liking it. It is just the definition of not for me. Become really inspired to do an Empire War mod, like what you're doing. Where should I start as a brand new modern? What should I keep in mind? I did a video a while back on the basic tools and stuff you need. I actually have been thinking about the first tutorial getting back into that series would be talking about like actually getting into modding. So that should be something I do soon, possibly even before New Year's. Like, the biggest thing with Battlefront 2 for me is Heroes. I cannot stand Heroes. And, like, I really enjoyed the new Battlefront 2, but Heroes ruined that for me as well. If I could just play without Heroes, that'd just make me so much happier. Okay, so all this looks good. Let's go to the Conquer CIS begin. Conquer Observer CIS. Conquer Observer CIS. CIS Conquer Observer thread. Oh. That's one of the main reasons I like 1 more than 2. Nope. Oh my god. There we go. Mission CIS Conquer Planets. Mission CIS Conquer Planet. CIS Conquer Planet. CIS Conquer Planet. To find the target, we need to switch this to Empire, and this is going to be Techno Union, so I think Auxilias will probably do. Yeah, let's do Auxilias. Rewards will be randomized eventually, but right now I'm just trying to do, like, we'll probably put in just a reward deciding system. I'm just trying to get the main bones of everything. Auxilia, 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 Auxilia. All this is fairly genericized, so we don't need to change much there. Yeah, I really like the Geonosis map in Battlefront 1. I mean, just comparing Battlefront 2 to a lot of the games I was enjoying when it came out, it wasn't really able to stack up. Like, even just for Star Wars shooters, Republic Commando came out around a similar time, and just, to me, that's a much better game. It obviously not the same multiplayer, but I already had Battlefront 1 for when I was doing that multiplayer stuff with friends. And for non-Star Wars, you got Halo 2 a year before and Halo 3 a year after, or maybe 1 and 2. But I never felt like they stacked up, like Battlefront stacked up as shooters, especially multiplayer shooters, compared to Halo. So it just never really landed with me. But yeah, so this all looks correct. That can go away. Alright, mission dialogue, CIS, build shipyards. Build shipyard, this should be Gunray Loop, which I don't think we have yet. And this should be Gunray Loop. Thanks, good man. Did you have a Merry Christmas and also Happy Boxing Day? Thanks, you too. I had a decent... I've been mostly just working all holidays. I'm going to go home and visit my family in January. So yesterday I was just working on some of this stuff and getting ready for the Fall of the Republic playthrough starting today. So that was my Christmas. Then I was watching my roommate's cat here, and then I also had to go look after another friend's cat. I think someone just joined the call. But yeah, so I had to go and look after another friend's cat, so I went to their place at like 6 a.m. and got home at like 8 or 9, posted the video, went to bed, so I only got up a few hours ago. My sleep schedule is just so shit right now. Is someone in here? No, it's just me. It must have been some of the music sounds that I was mistaking for stuff. Alright, CIS. Upgrade station. CIS upgrade station. Event. Whenever I do this text, I'm mostly just assuming it's going to be placeholder, so... All right. There, simple text. All right, so there's one. Where's the convention with? No, it'd be in here. Script story. CIS accumulate. CIS. Trade Fed increase. And Trade Fed increase. Trade Federation. Increase the Trade Federation. So doing each of these missions will get you closer to being able to integrate the CIS minor factions or sub-factions. So you convert the .dat into a CSV and then convert back or can read the CSV. So we make all the edits to a CSV, and then we have a script that alphabetizes it and converts it to a .dat file that Jorah wrote. So it's a lot easier for us to have multiple people working on the text at the same time. Because if you use GitHub and there's multiple people doing the text, if it's just the .dat file, then it's a binary file. I can't really tell what's going on. Whereas if it's just a CSV, then it's much better at combining those, and fewer people lose their work. All we have to do is recompile, which is nice. Actually, I should have done... Duplicate trade fed. With from the ground up, to have different unit rosters, you'd need to code in and out whatever you want people to have or not. You can have like an in-game dynamic ship roster making thing. It would, well, technically you can for 3 of the factions, but it'd be a lot of work to set up because you need to code everything in very differently and script it out in other GCs. So Techno Union, Trade Fed, build shipyards. We got Trade Fed. Yes, trade fed, and that was 0, yeah. Trade fed increase, that's good. Conquer planet is... Techno Union increase. All right. Oh. Hold on. Is Rep Conquer Planet up? This shouldn't be there then. Pretty sure. So we need text CIS event. No, wait, text event CIS. Why is that backwards? Where's the thing? Oh, are we? Yeah, we're too far. Text. Events. CIS conquer 0001. All right. Okay, so that should be all the text we need for that. So now we just want to alphabetize and build, which will convert that to the DAT file and put it all in order. And now that should all work. Allegedly. So, that's good. I'm just going to check the CIS Conquer Planet one more time. Yeah. So that should work. But because we are going to be just testing the missions, I'm going to go into library. First, I'm actually going to do this. And move the game capture above. Right. So, we're going into library, Fall of the Republic. Actually, no, it'd be in Galaxy. It's the Galaxy Mission Manager. I assumed this was going to be a lot more complicated than it ended up being, so I might need to simplify some of the scripts. But if mission chance is less than... Actually, I think the easiest way to do this is just... And 1, then 3. Because normally it waits 3 weeks after your last mission before it'll start assigning missions again. Or the last time you had a mission assigned. And if it takes more than 8 weeks since you've had the last mission, it'll just give you one automatically. But what I just did is change it so that if it's been even 1 week, it'll do it. If it's been 3, then you'll get one for sure. That just makes it easier to test. Because I want them assigned as often as possible for this. So we can go on in to the king. How was I so bad at that? I tried to drink it sideways. The hole was on the wrong side. Alright, game's launching. I thought I put that above. Oh well. If only I had Smirnoff Ice Pineapple. Alright. Confederacy. Hey, Maddie.
Planetary control
Crap,
achieved.
I broke it. How did I break it, though? That's the question. Alright, well, before jumping into... Okay, that wouldn't break anything. CS accumulate. CS accumulate observer thread. CS accumulate observer thread. CIS equals find player rebel. Magnificent. So much rewards, one with location. CIS. Remove self is active. CS accumulate observer thread. CS accumulate observer thread. CS accumulate observer thread. Oh, this is why. Or this is a reason why. Did I do that twice? No. That was something that was wrong. Please don't spam. Do 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 do. All right, let's try that again. If this doesn't work, I might go into debug mode. Hey, Vinny, how's it going? Shit. Wait. Shit? Probably shit. Yeah.
System.
Alright, well, let's see if there's anything else I noticed that's definitely wrong. Quad reset. That's all correct. That's all correct. That's all correct. Yeah, shipyards. CIS, 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 CIS. This doesn't actually do anything, but it's better to have it fixed. Oop. Check story flag rebel. All right, let's go into the debug build. This takes forever to get into, is why I normally don't do it. Only once I've actually looked again and haven't found what's going on. It's much faster than it was, which is actually kind of sad. But it's still kind of annoying. I don't know why YouTube sends me a notification that it's live on my channel. Like, it's not even like I'm subscribed on Datapad or something and it gets that. It's literally just live on your channel right now. Like, I'm here. Of course I'm live on my channel. Thanks, YouTube. You've... Oh well. And then it just lags because it's the debug build. But at least I only have to launch it once, and then I can just exit and still get the changes made. Hey, Fire Dragon, how's it going? When does episode 2 drop? For the Fall of the Republic playthrough, that should be tomorrow. Or have you guys considered adding missions to increase influence in planets? I don't. We're thinking about doing influence or some of the interventions impacting planet influence, but we need to make the planet influence system a bit more robust for that. And especially with them being random and there being so many planets, We're not sure if that'll... Like, doing that is kind of the main reward we're not sure about. Because there'd also have to be, like, so many of them. But you'd probably get, like, stuff like, oh, we're pissed off here, so do this or else we're going to revolt. But we'll see how that ends up going. Okay, so, yeah. Corruption. AI log. Alright, air loading package, CIS accumulate. End expected to close if at line 18 near else. Alright,
System
so
control achieved.
let's exit back to the main menu. I'm actually not sure, are you guys seeing... Alright, when I'm alt tabbed, it's not focusing on it. That's good. Hey Corey, how many people are working on ICW and Fall of the Republic? We have a dev server that has like almost 50 people in it, but we don't have like stringent requirements for people who are like considered on the team or retired or whatever. So if I were to put it at the number of like active devs, it's probably close to 15 between both projects, and then there's probably another 5 to 10 people that are either active sometimes or training to be active devs or that kind of thing. Okay, so it's CIS accumulate, line 18. If, then else. Oh, this is why. There's active team like me, Bob, Jorit, Slorny, Valerie, Pox, Mr. Puerto Rican, Haynes. Load in. See, I'm debating whether to continue listing people because I know I'm going to forget someone, but then I'm also just going to stop in the middle of listing if I don't.
System conquered.
Alright, that was one issue. Is there anyone I should contact to offer voice lines from mod? So Haynes is working on voice stuff right now, but it's he's doing Fall of the Republic stuff at the moment, and eventually he will put out a call for people to join. But we're not quite at that point yet. Oh, this is why there. Oh, Nolan, I didn't say. I said Bob. I think I said Jorit. Here, you know what? Just to make sure I don't screw anyone over here. Inertial, Kalo, Oswolf. Oswolf semi-retired. Slevert is sometimes active. Valerie, currently active. Evil Bob the Bob is active. Hexadus is not currently active. Nolan Star's active. Pox is active. Darine is training. Jacked is training. They know what they're doing, but we just call the people who joined the team at first young apprentices. Fiddy's a tester. Mike's a tester. Wildcat's retired. Count is retired. Beesden was our site designer. Benjamin's retired. Caesar's Legion is active on Ascendancy as well as other Sins projects. Connor is semi-active. He's primarily a Star Trek Armada 3 dev, but he does some art for the team as well. Same thing with Max. David is semi-retired. Dark's been inactive for a while. Davis has actually done a lot of Saboth pirate stuff recently. X in the server. Code user is lying, but does stuff occasionally. And Saladus is retired, and Carr is retired. Haynes. Revanchist is a... Okay, cool, that worked. Revanchist works on Ascendancy. So he doesn't do EAW stuff, but... Mr. Puerto Rican, I said. Coop is learning to model. Terrible is learning as a modeler. I think that's Jord I mentioned. But yeah, I think that's it. What did you do for a living before modding full-time? I technically don't mod full-time. Modding is still a hobby, but it gives me stuff to do for my job, which is the being like YouTubering, streaming. That's my actual job. Modding is just connected in that it helps grow the audience for the mod and vice versa, but then you have stuff like Datapad where there's absolutely no connection to TR. But before I did this, when I first got out of university, I worked at McDonald's for a year and a half. Then I got a job for the government at StatsCan, which I worked at for a few months. It was just a contract, and I was working on getting that contract extended. Like I was going to go in for an interview a few months after, once they got into data analysis with the census stuff. And I was hoping to basically just go along that until I got a full position with StatsCan. But that's when my mom got her terminal diagnosis, so I moved back home. And I ended up not going in for that interview and just... Or I guess it would have been a test, not an interview. But I didn't go in for the test, and I just started doing the YouTubing stuff full-time. I'd been doing, between finishing that contract and waiting for the next contracts to come up, I'd been doing YouTubing stuff, but I didn't really consider myself a full-time YouTuber yet, even though that's technically when I started, that September, having finished my contract in August. And then the next place I was supposed to go, or like that would have started in like January or February, but I had a lot of money saved at that point because I'd been planning to go back to school, which I didn't end up doing. Like I didn't spend any of my money while I worked at McDonald's, which was not a lot, but it was enough that I was okay saving that time between government contracts, and then just because it was a lot easier to work on channel stuff from home.
Updated.
Who do we got? We got Bob. I don't know if I'm on push to talk or not. So I should change that. There we go. Now I'm on voice activity. Hi, Bob.
Hello.
How's things?
Not too bad. May just be in the process of submitting my first author paper, so that's nice.
Ooh. Was there any resistance to you being the first author? Buzz isn't here, so you can't kill him.
Everyone should stop watching now. Punish Corey for what he's done.
Hey, Pog. Thanks for giving me a chance without Ek. That guy's all busy with his family and stuff. Imagine that.
Mission
Yeah.
log
Weirdo.
updated.
What?
No,
Hey, it's Fox as well. And double Bob and Corey.
Double Bobby. Oh, am I?
Headphones.
Yeah. I'm afraid I don't have any.
That's too bad. Oh, well, I'm not hearing myself anymore, so probably good.
Okay. Let's hope it stays that way. What did I miss?
I just made the Republic interventions for the CIS. So nothing exciting.
Okay, why are they different?
Because, well, they're the same ones. It's just with CIS everywhere instead of Republic. The plot file
Okay.
has to be different, for one thing.
Yeah. Okay. Does it?
Yeah. Because it has
Are
to
you
be in the
sure?
correct... It has to be in the correct... For some of the stuff, it has to be in the correct factions plot file for the events to register. Once other stuff gets converted to whatever we can do from game scoring, then it doesn't need to. But for now, because I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
It's a good job Pox is here.
The code is the same, right?
Yeah,
For the lure. Can probably use one lure for both of them.
possibly. I'm hearing two of me again.
Oh, damn it. Why?
Why don't I have a mission assigned? Well, technically I threw out all my alcoholic drinks in that. I threw out that tequila because it was absolute trash. But let's not get the message wrong here. That wasn't an anti-alcohol action. That was an anti-trash action. Okay, I got stockpile credits. So the other ones might not be firing.
Dun, dun,
By the way, I
dun.
just saw the new influence level display thing. You know, the thing
Yeah,
left.
the particles.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. How did you end up doing them?
I just attached a particle within the influence calculator.
Oh, okay.
So it just appends the level to the rest of the thing and
No,
gets one particle from that rather than being a lot of if-then statements, which I normally would have done.
Pox might just tear up.
no. Not yet. The mission thing is way more.
Well, most of
primitive.
the missions are going to be very faction specific. It's just these.
Yeah, I know.
basic
It's
ones.
the whole I don't know, the mission distributor or whatever you call it. Some of that stuff, and no, wait, is it the distributor? You have something. You have a class for each faction that determines which missions to assign,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I don't think you need that.
How should it be?
I may go through it and do some simplification at some point.
I assumed you would, but I just did it the way I knew I could
Yeah,
figure out how to. But it has to figure out which faction is being played and then go into a separate mission set for that, depending on which faction it is, and also has to be different for each mod. So
yeah.
why was this not?
I'm just updating all the combat power and costs of various units so that they're correct.
On ground?
On ground, yeah.
Is the scale that we use for auto resolve or for combat power and auto resolve health and stuff on ground the same as in space? Because that might be part of why they're blowing everything up.
It is currently, I think.
Because I don't think it
Basically-
adjusts ground against space.
No, actually, our space combat power is on the order of 10 times larger consistently.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Like, for example, so as an example, a Gladiator is 710, and the only thing approaching that in ground units is the A6 at 350, basically. So there are some units that the A6 is stronger than.
Mhm.
I mean, we can always add an extra 0 on the end if we want to be safe about it. That might be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, I assumed the missions would be more complicated than they ended up being to actually get it in a sign and have it not duplicate them, because now the not duplicating them is handled within the mission itself. So I think I went one level deeper in like containers than I actually needed to.
Oh well.
Because there's the main Galaxy Library mission manager, which I think is necessary. Then the mod-specific mission distributor can probably be turned into something that can handle everything for every faction. So you have a list of the options for faction-specific ones, and then the options for generic ones that can all be together, and then it just loads the appropriate one for the right faction, or have it within that mission, check who the faction is. But I wasn't sure if I could get it to work that way, if I could get it to work that way, but because other than that, just within the same file, you'd only need the plot, the dialogue, and certain factions to change. But they're pretty simple files in the first place, so that might end up being most of it's changing anyways.
Can you still hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Yep. All good here.
I'm just gonna make this happen every time, all the time. Let's see if I just got unlucky.
Oh well, I can't wait to write a Python script to multiply all of the combat power for space units by 10.
Make one that does the scale down by 0.25 as well. God, I'm so annoyed that half was... The whole time I was doing it, I was thinking, you know what would have been smart here is doing it with like 3 units, seeing how it looked, then stopping.
Mm-hmm.
But I decided not to do the smart thing. Was that a bell? Did someone just ding my stupidity?
Hmm?
Someone dinged something.
Oh, that was just me bouncing my cable off things. Don't worry about it. It's the. Is the Republic gonna have the B5 Juggernaut?
I don't think so. I think Nolan already got rid of it.
Okay, that's good. Just double checking. It's just because the Fall of the Republic
Planetary
XML
control
files are really
achieved.
confusing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Like the space
because
units are
there's lots of
separated, the
duplicates.
ground units isn't, and then
The ground units are just a complete. I assume certain things aren't being loaded, like. I should just check game object files, shouldn't I?
Sorry,
Yeah,
check if the particle effect for the influence is correct.
what's going on?
Mission
You're
log
cutting out a bit.
updated.
Oh, okay. Check if the particle effect for the influence appears correctly when the changes.
Yeah,
Because-
it.
Are you sure that the new one just doesn't?
Each particle has a lifetime, so it's applying the particle once at the start of the week, and then you can even see it fades out. Right now, it's not timed properly,
Oh, okay.
so every
And
new week it's a new particle. I just have to find out exactly how many frames. Well, I don't want it to be exactly how many frames because the frames can desync. So
I don't
try to
believe
get
they
it
do,
close to
actually.
the. It doesn't.
It shouldn't do. The frames are
that's
part of
good.
the logical frames in the game. They are locked at 30 FPS, and the game will calculate
Mission
each
log
frame appropriately.
So it'd
I
be 40
calculated
times
it's 12.
30.
Yeah, 1200.
Yeah.
So,
Right now it's set to be like 800 something. So then I'll just set it to 1200, and it does fade out at the end, but that's fine. But yeah, it's one particle that goes at the start of the week and then gets removed, which means we might need something to update it or remove the particle effect if the planet control changes, or like it might need to be made more complicated in some way. But I don't think it's going to be an issue since it's only updating at the start of the week anyways.
I think attached particle effect returns the particle it spawns, so I think we can despawn it.
Mm-hmm.
that's good.
But yeah, it's definitely updating properly. You can see Coruscant moving there, and
Oh, okay.
Why is the influence not displaying at the top, though? Oh, because I'm playing CIS, it doesn't do that. Well, I'm just so used to now seeing the particles for everywhere because fucking with enemy influence is a thing that I was expecting it to show up in the top. Oh wow.
Okay, here, I found the problem with the intergalactic banking clan AA turret. It's because for whatever reason, I think they're still set up to use pentastar alignment build pads instead of Rebel, because none of this makes any sense. Okay. This is a mess. This is a mess. Yep, that's the problem.
Okay, so that
All
should
of the
assign one.
everybody except the Empire should use the Rebel turrets. One would presume.
Bolstering support. Okay, that's correct. Of course, Remus Antilles probably shouldn't be giving out the CIS missions. That's a... He's just standing in for Wat Tambor until Valerie can do that one.
Close enough, right?
Yeah.
Is an important question. Are the Hapens going to be in Fall of the Republic?
Let's assume yes.
Okay, that's fine. Because I don't have to delete quite as many things.
I won't save that yet. Okay, so I think the shipyard one's getting assigned. Stockpile's getting assigned. I don't know if Conquer's going to get assigned. Anyway,
Still
for
a
making the
mess.
new influence indicator stand out cleaner when it gets crossed by a trade line like at Alderaan. So it probably won't be here forever. These are just basically placeholder particles I put in the easiest place where there's currently a gap once I turn this on. But we're probably going to be moving a lot of this stuff around once we figure out what the best way to do that will look like. And possibly changing some other galactic level graphics as well to make stuff a bit more readable and consistent. So right now it's basically just there to help, and especially from the color, give an indicator of stuff you need to look at or not. But yeah, it's just proof of concept placeholder stuff that I did to make sure it would work.
I think it would look fine if it was just bigger and brighter.
Yeah, me too. I like the.
The thing is, with where it is, bigger either puts it into the fleet or into the corruption particle. So I'll probably have to shift it out more, but then it may not line up very well with the
What-
planet.
How is it being attached? Is it being attached to the root bone of the planet or to the?
It's to the root. I think the attached particle spawns it at the root and then has whatever offset the particle does.
Okay.
So the offset is built into the particle, just like with the
Right.
corruption particle.
Okay, I assumed so. I just wanted to make sure. I mean, I feel like there's enough space to make it maybe 50% bigger, not like huge,
Mhm.
but just a little bigger.
Yeah.
Maybe bring it slightly further away from the planet itself.
Yeah, I think if it's over, I don't know, like right here, it'd end up working best. So it's closer to the selection ring. But then it might not. It's definitely not going to be readable over the selection ring. Alright, I'm not getting the other mission. We got stockpile credits. So that's done. I guess I'll see if the other one completes as well. If I have any planets that need that.
Building under construction.
Here's a fun question as well. Are we going to have vehicle capturing at all in?
I don't
FOTI
think
is
so.
Building under construction.
Great, we can delete all of the captured variants because they're everywhere and they're annoying.
Yeah, when Dave was doing the Yavithan stuff, he made the Yavithan's capture vehicles. And most of the times they turned into other stuff than what they were.
Yeah, obviously that still happens occasionally in ICW, but
Yeah.
that's just Chewbacca, so it's a little more rare.
I'm pretty sure it applies to all the
Enemy
turrets.
fleet approaching.
Try to. Can you hide hyperspace routes and open them through story missions? You cannot, unfortunately. The closest thing you can do that is locking planets, which is
Tactical battle.
really hacky as well. Because even locked planets you can send stealth units to land on, which is thanks PG.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do fleet bounces when people try to move into systems, but you can't do that for anything but 3 of the factions, like bounce events. Tactical battle. I
Why
wish
do
we could
have,
spawn and despawn planets. but
Direct
we
fire
can't.
at their laser cannons.
Why do we have separate XMLs for
TIE squadron here.
limited credit?
The CIS and the Republic one?
For
Yeah.
the Empire.
So, right now I'm doing them all separately because I'm not sure what they're going to end up involving for the actual events. Because either way, you have to load the plot and it has to be attached to the correct faction. If you're going to use the accumulate credits event, it has to know who's accumulating them, or else if you're playing the CIS, it's going to be waiting for the Republic to accumulate it. Because if you use load plot in the
Target locked. I've got them in my
into
sights.
Lewis script, and it's going to
Eyes
load the same
reporting
one. So it's if you have that attached, if you have one XML file attached to both the plot file for the CIS and the Republic, then who knows which one it's going to pick.
Attack formation.
We should try. There was a lot of redundancy.
Sir.
But there's no way to tell it to load the
Station
correct one in
under
that case.
attack.
We have a duplicate prop,
Excellent
and
shot.
at least it would just fire when the AI accumulates 25,000 credits as well.
I got one.
Wait, what? No. If you load a plot and Wait. Oh, right. This runs on the. Is this running on the player agnostics?
No, the mission event, like that accumulate credits XML file, is not. It's a
Okay.
suspended plot in the faction specific plots.
Okay, but the Lua stuff for it.
The Lua stuff for it is.
Okay. Interesting.
We're loading that plot, but it's a suspended plot that's listed within the Republic's file, so it's able to access it. Or in the CIS's file. But it has to be faction specific because I'm pretty sure accumulate credits, you can't specify which faction does it. I'll check. Yeah, it's just story accumulate is just number of credits, and it ties it to whichever faction is loading the
Okay.
that script.
Well, the good news is that you can check credits with a perception and Lua
Yeah.
instead of doing it with a story
Yeah,
event. So you don't even have to use story events for that.
I think we should probably use more Lua than story events because it's more flexible and, well, we don't have to rely on story events that only work for a specific faction.
Yeah, for most of them, I'd like to do that, but the other thing I'm concerned about with it is setting up the dialogues and having that track properly. We're going to need generic events that can be fired for it,
Right.
but we also have to have it track the proper tags, which I think we can do, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not sure if we can.
Because these have to be in the mission holocron, otherwise people will not know what they're doing.
Yeah, I know.
So even if the rest is made entirely Lua based, those may have to be XML files that are still loaded through the specific faction or through Lua so that it knows that that plot is what's being used. Because the dialogue files aren't faction specific. We can fire those events and they apply to whomever because we already do that for the warlords and everything.
Yeah, they literally apply to every faction in the game simultaneously.
Yeah.
Because they apply to the player.
So we might have to have everything structured like this, even if we move over to like using the perception to track how many credits people have or construction events, which we probably should, but a lot of it is still going to need to be there in some form.
So, I don't think we can set the story chapter tags and stuff like that from Lua, right?
I'm not aware if we can. I haven't seen it being done. I don't think we can. You can
Yeah.
add dialogue text. You can set event parameters. You might be able to actually, because that's an event parameter, right? The story tag?
No, it's not. It's
Not
a
exactly. It's a
Oh,
specific,
no, story chapter, right. It's not.
Yeah, it's very specific.
Yeah.
I don't think the Lua can do
you
it.
can try and see if there's maybe
Let me have a
setup
look at.
in Lua events, like if we do plot get event and see if we can set it from there, because I discovered that there's a setup for the event type as well.
A setter for the event type?
Yeah, there's a setup for the event type.
Oh, yeah, I already knew that.
Yeah, PG only used the set for the reward type in their source files, but I just tried it out if there was a setter for the event type.
Okay.
Apparently there's.
I swear I had the entire list of Lua functions, like the ones ripped from the executable. I know I have the XML tags ripped from the executable, but I don't. For some reason, I don't have the. Where is it there?
No, the reward doesn't spend the credits for the accumulate
right.
missions.
Instead, I have an entire dump of every single text entry in the game. Okay, that's. I mean, it's literally every string in the game, executable.
Didn't just Stargate people post a documentation?
They probably have a list, which is better.
They post that in the mod hub or something.
Let me go have a look. Come on.
I have Anakin's Lua commands thing, but
That's not enough.
It's
That doesn't-
very incomplete.
Yeah, that's. Where is it?
Here we are. Here we are. Yep, found it. Found a list of all commands. It's a GitHub IO website. Here, let me just drop it in.
Does it have the event parameter?
I'll put it in dish dev team, I guess. It has. Let me have a look. What would it come under? It would come under story plot wrapper, probably.
Mm, Story event wrapper.
Yeah. Set reward type, set reward parameter, set event parameter, set dialogue, clear dialogue, add dialogue.
No story chapter.
No. Nothing with the word chapter in it. Unless you have a single. I mean, the other thing you can do is just have a dialogue file with chapter 0 for every single entry.
We could
So
do
you don't
that.
have chapters, and that might work. And
But
every
then
time it just loads chapter 0.
is
It would be a lot of repeated files, which wouldn't be fun. But it would be the way to do it with Pure Lua.
So I have a question because I forgot how that works. So if you go into the game and you open the story dialogue, right? You have this list view of entries,
Mm-hmm.
and you only get how did that work? You only get one entry in this list view per plot, right? Or do you get a new list entry every time you call set dialogue from the Lua?
I think it just overwrites.
Yeah, I think that yeah. Or is it per event? Is it maybe a
hold on.
maybe
What are
a
you?
entry per event?
What are you talking about?
If the dialogue window in the story dialogue window in the game,
Yeah.
you have the upper section has a list of story entries,
Yeah.
and I forgot how you get a new story entry.
It's the tag. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know, but is it if you call it from Lua?
Yeah.
Is it one entry per plot or one entry per event? Because
We'll have a look at
if you call event dot set dialogue again on the same event, it will just overwrite the old entry.
I think it applies to whatever what story chapter the XML has already gone to. So, like, to change the chapters, you use the XML stuff, and then, like, say you're in chapter 0 and you use the add dialogue text or whatever it's called. Yeah, add dialogue text. I think then it'll get counted as chapter 0. But if the XML has gone to chapter 1, then it does that. You don't change anything else, I don't think.
No, I'm referring to not the chapters, but if I want to create a separate new entry in the upper section.
Yeah, I think I don't know if you can do any of that with the Lua Parks. Because that text is controlled by part of the dialogue, but it's title, not text.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't really mean the text that displays. I just want to create a new entry in the list.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The tag we can't touch from Lua.
Yeah, true.
Like, I think it's literally just the text that Lua has access to, and the rest has to be done through XML.
Yeah. True. Okay, so what if all right, tag is the list entry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So each mission, no matter how abstract we make it, needs to have an XML file. But if you want the title to be different for different factions, like the title text, you do need a different XML entry for it.
Yeah, okay.
And since most of the like scripted part of it is adding the text to the dialogue, and most of the text is faction specific flavor text, I don't know that it's better to have one Lua file per mission when you're just going to have twice as much code in it.
Well, what I would do is probably create the logic once in one Lua, and I mean that's what I've been trying to do for all the stuff that has to be in both mods and has multiple factions running it. I try to put the logic in one place and separate all the data that is faction specific.
Yeah, but then
just load it into it.
The missions that we have right now, there's not really any logic to them. It's because all that's currently handled by those XML events.
Okay.
So even if we like these are the three that we have right now are the simplest they're going to be, and that's kind of why they apply to both factions. But like, there's not much to them because it's just getting the dialogue, getting the plot, getting the target. All three of those are faction specific. Getting the reward, that's faction specific. Firing the event, that's not faction specific, but then adding the dialogue text is. And then it starts the plot, starts the thread, waits for the XML event to tell it what to do, gets the plot, the reward location, both of those are faction specific, gets the event again, not faction specific, but the other parameters of it are, finds the faction that you're playing as, which is faction specific, starts the reward, which is faction specific, and then sets the support increase, which is faction specific, then it resets the thread.
Okay.
So all these are pretty much entirely just faction specific casing for the XML doing what it needs to do. Because like it's literally just accumulate credits, build a shipyard, and conquer a planet right now. But for everything else, it's not going to be faction specific as far as the logic that it's doing, but the missions are going to be designed to be faction specific. So I don't know how transferable they'll be.
Okay.
Yay. Hope everyone enjoyed that repetition of the phrase faction specific more times than many more times than anyone needed to hear, really.
Well, I was just going through all the code. That was the entire code of the events.
Of course.
So I think we can probably combine the CIS and Missions Republic into one thing, and then just have the mission list within that. But as far as like generic, like having even the generic missions just be loaded and then it does whatever faction. No, I don't want to say it again. Faction related things it needs to like I think either way it's either going to be two different files or a different file for each faction, or it's going to be one file for everyone, but then it's a really long file where there's separate entries within the file for everyone. So it's really just a question of whether we want more files or more functions within one file.
I don't know. We'll have to. We'll deal with that when we come to it.
I think we're kind of at it.
I mean, right now
this is that moment.
You have the XML handle most of the stuff, so I mean, I'd probably
really the XML is just setting the story functions and then tracking. Like technically, it's tracking the construct, and that stuff can be put in into Lua. But again, that's going to be one line.
Well, to be honest, I'd probably just have a Lua file like that. So basically, right now, both your accumulate in Lua do the same thing,
Technically.
and basically all you need to do is replace the name of the XML, and that's it. Probably. And the reward.
Yes.
And
The XML, the dialogue, the reward.
But
what you're doing with the events can technically be added. Well, other than accumulate 03 and 04. So this though, this we could make one thing.
What's this?
The accumulate credits thing I've got. Oh, the stream's very delayed. Accumulate credits 00 event dot set dialogue event clear dialogue text, set the target that. And actually, this target, that's XML, so it doesn't need to be there.
I think you can probably separate. We probably need to think to separate the rewards from the intervention, so we can attach rewards to an intervention.
Yeah.
And doing this, good step in the direction of making it player agnostic, I guess.
But I don't know how player agnostic we can or want to make this, because most of the missions are already going to be very player specific. It's just right now there's like the three most basic ones that are player agnostic.
I mean, you have two rather XML centric missions, and I probably try to think of a way to make a generic XML based mission and just tell it to run through the XML step.
But again, the XML is already generic. It just has to be the right faction loading the plot for, like, if we change the accumulate to be a perception checking the player's credits, then that XML would probably work as a player agnostic one, and the events are already set up in a way that what they're doing is mostly just setting the dialogue file. But in the construction, that can also be moved to checking the game scoring production events. I just didn't know how to do that. But I don't know if like the end result is the Lua file getting any cleaner. And I like making a system that assigns the reward when the rewards are, especially for the CIS, going to be fairly factions, like the sub faction you're getting the reward from matters. So it's literally just going to be combining the amount of code that we already have from both into one and duplicating a lot of it. I don't know that we save anything when, especially trying to build any kind of new system around literally just this one mission.
Yeah, I'd say we'll have to wait until we have a few more.
No, but like even the other missions are like, because they're not going to be the same kind of generic stuff generally, or they'll involve something that's
I mean, we need to have a system for interventions that have multiple steps.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but
we
those
don't
are still
replicate the original interventions where you just have to do one thing and
Yeah, but
be done
those
with
are still not going to be player agnostic because we'd ideally be designing those around stuff that actually works for the factions. So it wouldn't just be like do all these steps and then substitute in this if you're Republic, this if you're CIS, and change the text. That would be generally not what's going to be happening.
Yeah.
So putting any kind of work into making something that's more of a player agnostic mission handler that goes like down to the specifics of the actual missions, I don't think we get much out of that because most of the missions are going to have to be kept outside that and still kept in a faction specific container.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe you're right.
I think this is an area where abstraction is not going to do us many favors.
Dun, dun, dun. Meanwhile, I've just made a wholesale copy of the free store lure and changed about 8 characters.
Why?
Why? Because so the issue is that the CIS ally factions and CIS itself don't recognize that the sub factions are technically friendly in the free store. In the free store, they were still treating, because of one of the equations,
Oh,
they were
okay.
still treating all the other sub factions as enemy in a particular perception, which I had to make a separate version of the perception which only treats the Republic as an enemy. Otherwise, they basically try and defend against allied planets. So they would basically say, "Oh, I need to put a fleet near the CIS, even though I'm the Commerce Guild, and they're never going to attack me."
Mm-hmm.
So, although I guess technically the player can attack them if they want, it would just be kind of dumb. That's the thing you can do, by the way, players, if you really want, instead of paying money to just
or doing
peacefully
missions.
take them in. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
Or you can just steamroll them.
So Pox, if we combine with, let's look at this mission data, Squips, Stowy. Nope, I always want to go to Story. I think if we can combine these guys, there are probably going to be one or two that can be more agnostic missions. So
What guys?
So Mission CIS and Missions Republic, I forgot how much of a delay that was on. But then some of the, like, it would have to be loading every mission for every faction in the game when requiring. No, because you can put requiring within the functions, right? So it only.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that wouldn't be an issue then. So we'd have like the generic ones at the top that everyone uses, if there are any like that, which like maybe accumulate and build shipyard or something would. Then we'd have to have a list that gets used, whether you just like go into the function or go into a specific table based on the faction you're playing. Then the accumulate mission could be the same. Shipyard mission could probably be the same. Conquer mission, I don't know. We might be saving a couple files there if we did it that way.
Oh boy, oh boy.
I don't know if we're actually saving much or anything else, but
I guess the question is, how much do we want to give Warlords missions? Like that's the question. How much in ICW do we want to give Warlords missions? Because if the answer is not really, then it doesn't matter. And we could just make everything gloriously faction specific and make Pox cry.
Warlords will definitely have missions.
Okay, well there we go. So then we do need a solution.
Yeah. I mean, my approach to this is always, so if you want to change something for a specific faction, do you have to change it in multiple places? If the answer is yes, then I try to.
Yeah, I'm just not sure how avoidable that is in this situation because it is tied in some ways to XML in that we can't get around.
We, as I said, I don't think. I think in the XML department we can't do anything about it, but at least in the Lua files, probably.
The
try to-
perception already exists for credits, right, Bob?
Yep, you can get how many credits. At least I think it works. I think if it doesn't already exist, I can write one right now.
Isn't there a get credits or something for the in Lua?
I don't think you can get current credits in Lua. I think you do need to use a perception.
Yeah, it's a perception. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what they're for. You can give players credits, but
Oh,
Oh, so we should just give them 25,000 credits, then we know for sure that it's been.
but they have 25,000 more than that before.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
but
is
that definitely
technically-
puts
there-
them
no,
over the.
There is technically a get credits function
Oh,
for Player
cool.
Wrapper. There is a Player Wrapper just straight up get credits. So
fine.
there we
So
go.
we need to get player object, find player.
Yep,
I
find a
think
player,
there's-
get the credits, and as soon as it hits 25,000, boop, job done.
Is there a thing that just gets the human player directly,
I think.
or
we
do you have to do like
automate-
is human bullshit?
There's a function that Pox wrote in one of the utility functions that does it quickly. I believe
What?
a function to check for human, to return the human player automatically without having to write something from scratch for the 20th time.
Oh, see, maybe in the galactic. If you can pass the galactic first object around, it has a property human, so probably you.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do. If the property has already been evaluated once, let's use it.
Yeah. You just have to pass the galactic object somewhere, or just pass the value of t into wherever you need it.
I feel like there are some more useful things that that kind of thing will do for you anyway with the missions that might be useful in the future.
Well, the thing that I have to determine the player needs to probably be added to story util for all galactic conquests.
Mm-hmm. That's crunchy.
I think he just heard so much talking about stuff not being abstract. It's like the bag he's breathing into. I don't really mean it. I don't really mean it.
Yeah, I have to get some chocolate. Fight the frustration.
That's what Christmas is good for, right?
Oh, I need to get a Terry's chocolate orange again.
Oh, damn it, don't say that. They're rubbish here.
I don't know that they're. Oh yeah, American chocolate is terrible.
Yeah.
In Canada, we mostly get like British stuff or Canadian stuff. So
Yeah.
can they legally? So I like white chocolate. So I can't really. It's legally not chocolate.
It can be as long as it won't have cocoa solids, but as long as it has cocoa butter in it, then it's at least vaguely worthwhile. The worst part is the white chocolate you can get here, which doesn't even have cocoa of any kind in. No cocoa butter at all, or cocoa solids, just nothing.
I'm gonna get all this into one place.
So I was just having looked at the Galactic Free Store when you mentioned it. Didn't we have a system in place at some point that had the Freestone not run at the same time for...
Yes, we tried to fix that, and it broke everything. It broke
hey,
things. Yeah,
what
yeah.
happened?
It basically just caused random crashes, and we don't know why.
Oh.
So we had to revert it.
Yeah, that was the month or so of random. That was at the same time that Rogue's props were, like he was using some space units that didn't work as props. So there was like those random crashes on the ground that started at the same time as the random crashes on Galactic, and I thought about quitting modding because everything was making me sad.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just this is a point box where I will happily just blame Empire at War and move on with my life. We did what we could.
Didn't improve performance.
It didn't make a huge difference either. Yeah, so
Technically, when the game crashed, it was using significantly fewer resources.
that's true. Okay. Anyway, unit costs have been updated. It means that ground units tend to cost similar amounts because in general, I've scaled them to match the combat power they bring per company a little more closely. Infantry is quite a bit more expensive as a result. It's like 200 credits for a squad of battle droids. So we'll see how that pans out. That's for open beta for everyone to complain about how expensive ground units are. But they're also, in some ways, more survivable, so we'll see. If I just have to divide all unit costs by, like, 2, that wouldn't be too bad, I suppose. Or I just need to scale things a bit differently in the combat power. I think part of it is because the combat power is square root scaled. The square root scaling flattens out combat power curve. If I got rid of the square root scaling, things like the Juggernaut would probably be way, way higher, and infantry would be way, way, way lower. So... meh. Let's see what else. I think so. The Republic getting overrun is definitely something that happens. However, I think Nolan's big starting force update should solve most of that. I hope, because there's nothing I have the AI doing that is significantly, oh, let's kill everybody really, really quick or anything like that. If necessary, and if testing has a lot of people upset about it, I can increase the timers on various factions so they don't just attack immediately and that kind of thing. There's not much more I can do though without like adding in lots of additional plans and stuff for the AI, which then slows it down more because it has to calculate each goal and let's have a look. So yeah, right now the initial grace period on easy, there is a 5-week buffer plus anywhere between 3 and 5 weeks per faction, random. On normal, there is a 1-week buffer plus anywhere between 1 and 4 weeks per faction, so up to 5 weeks, minimum of 2 weeks. And then on hard, there is a 10-second flat buffer, and then each faction can attack anywhere between in the first or second week. And I think that's reasonable, but it can be tweaked quite easily. It's just a case of changing the absolute numbers.
How do we make that favor the Republic as much as possible, though?
Well, I can check to see if the player, if the faction that's being attacked is Republic. Make the Republic have only have no timer for the Republic, and make it so that none of the other factions ever attack the Republic. I could do that.
I think that would be most fair. What we need to do is we need to remove the whole AI, like making the CIS aligned, and stop the corruption that makes them align or makes them able to pass through each other. Yeah. And I think the Venator needs a 500% health increase.
Okay, that seems reasonable.
Okay,
I hope everyone's looking forward to 0.5 when it comes out. The beta should be pretty exciting. All your public players going to enjoy it a lot, I think. Here's a fun one. The because Denon is neutral, which is probably going to change at the start of the campaign, we have the Trade Federation have taken it, and the Techno Union have some battle droids in orbit.
So I'm significantly behind on the details of Fall of the Republic development. So what did you end up using the corruption for?
Just to allow the allied CIS players to travel through each other.
Okay, so
You also get mutual vision.
Yeah, that's nice.
Pretty handy too.
thought only one player could have game.
No, as many players can have it as you want. It's just there's only one corruption. So if something is corrupted for one, it's corrupted for all of them, which in this case is handy, but it's also why we can only use it for one set of allied units or factions in the game, which is why we're going to have to decide whether we want to use it for the New Republic, with a lot of weird support systems to let them pass through stuff and see stuff when they have vassals, but it won't benefit the vassals related to other vassals. Or the Chiss and Empire of the Hand, which are just always going to be best of friends. Which I kind of prefer that, and then having the vassal stuff just make them not have the AI attack the New Republic. But
yeah,
we'll probably have to do a poll.
We could do corruption missions.
Yeah, but then you're doing missions on the allied planet, so unless it's like humanitarian stuff, then we may as well just stick with interventions. So I don't know if people want to do an Empire at War mission where they're like going and setting up a soup kitchen on a Trade Federation world or something.
For the droids.
Yeah. We did not think this out. Because you're not actually, like, the corruption missions were to corrupt the planet, right?
Yeah, true.
And they're just automatically corrupted.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, the actual effects of the missions we can do as whatever we want, though, so.
Oh, dear. Something I needed to ask. Nope. Left my mind. Oh, well, it can't have been that important. It would be nice to put droidicas into groups of 4, because right now, for them to actually be useful, I've had to put droidica 1s into companies of 16, which starts to get a bit unwieldy.
That can probably... I'm fine with that.
Also, do we want droidicas to be able to capture points or not?
Can scout bikes?
Not currently.
I think whatever we decide for scout bikes, we should do for droidica for that.
It's pretty reasonable. And
I'm not sure what we should do. I think that'll be something to bring up in general. By in general, I specifically mean in general chat, not in general as in a general discussion topic.
On the bright side, I note that the AI is actually... I'm currently just messing about, and they're attacking Christophsis. It has a victory point, and the AI's only thing that it wants to do right now is secure the victory point. They have 3 Jedi. Let's see how broken heroes are in the current version of ground combat, because I made it so that heroes generally, they have accuracy against them is about the same as most accuracy against infantry, but then it's about 50 to 100% more, so they're hard to hit, which is going to be probably their primary HP benefit, is that they will be hard to hit.
I
am happy we got the beams on the OG9s. They're pretty fun like that.
Yeah, that was nice until they start shooting lats.
Yeah, it's fun, and then it's just like, what's happening? But whatever, that's Empire at War for you. Okay, Obi-Wan is taking the brunt of things right now. It might be he doesn't have the land hero tag set properly yet. Oh, why is there this weird lag every few seconds? Okay, Kit Fisto is upset. Oh, Obi-Wan is dead.
Rip.
And there goes Plo Koon. And but they've landed Anakin and Aayla Secura, so they're just replacing them wholesale.
It's nice that the Jedi are doing things together.
And there goes Kit Fisto. So this was a weird attack by the AI. I think the heroes must have much too high combat power now relative to other units because they just sent 6 Jedi and an ATTE and a squad of clones and nothing else.
I do that
So-
sometimes.
I don't think it doesn't work as well when I just group up all of my droids and have them attack the Jedi. I mean, they killed a few things, but not really enough.
Well, you can't always get what you want.
Not if
But
you're
if
the
you try
Republic.
sometimes, you just might find you accidentally execute the entire Jedi Order. I think that's the song.
Secretly that's Anakin. Oh, they bombed me. Oh, that's cheating. Secretly, that was Anakin's plan, I guess.
Anakin is not that smart. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but dude's an idiot.
Okay, well, apparently they're going to win just because they bombed my entire army. Feels bad. It's like you have to concentrate your forces to kill the Jedi, because otherwise they can't be killed with just droids. And then they bomb you, so I guess they get the last laugh.
Okay, so I've made accumulate technically agnostic.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that can be made mostly agnostic if you don't care too much about the player knowing that the mission is happening.
Which
You
we
can have
do.
surprise missions.
I don't think we want that.
You just suddenly complete it out of nowhere, and you don't know why, but it just happens.
I think as long as the dialogue files stay structured the same, if we have missions like these, they can be somewhat agnostic, but
Oh yeah.
somewhat agnostic. We still need.
I can't believe the Republic is going to win this. Stupid bombing run. Oh,
even use.
we've got an Aayla Secura T-pose showing dominance against the battle droids.
All right, we can't use story flags. We
No,
can,
'cause they
but-
have to be in. Oh dear, the Republic. They captured. Oh, they didn't capture the point. They only have the heroes left. They're just crushing my vehicles as they come out, but they don't seem to be able to attack the structure. That's fun.
How do we set the flag if there's no flag to set? No, it's got to go the other direction. AI notification, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
All the Jedi have the earthquake ability, right?
I think they should.
I'm just looking at Aayla Secura and Anakin just standing in the middle of.
Yeah,
The local-
I don't
the
know
local
what it
corporate
is with that
headquarters.
ability, but you sometimes have to make them like walk around. I don't know if the attack range but like the range just comes from itself, so it makes no sense to me. But you have to like move them around. So
Yeah, the
doesn't
AI
really know.
apparently isn't having a good time with that right now. So they're just every time a squad of droids comes out, they're just killing the squad of droids. And then I'm just sitting there watching them look at the building because they're the only things okay. Let's see what happens if I auto resolve. Will that kill the Jedi? No, obviously it won't. Okay. At least auto resolve saves us from hours of stupidity sometimes. But yeah, kill three Jedi, an ATT, and a clone trooper squad just in for warm, loathsome, and some units.
We don't need this anymore. Wait, do we need this anymore?
Amazing.
We do need this.
Oh, I know what it is. One question for Pox probably. Why is the alert for being invaded not working in Fall of the Republic?
Good question.
Because
I have
it works fine in ICW, but for some reason, when you're the Republic, if you're about to be attacked, you can see it in Corey's playthrough. When you're about to be attacked, it doesn't tell you. It doesn't say there's a fleet incoming in the news feed. You have to do the old-fashioned way, which is fine. But I don't know why it's suddenly not working in Fall of the Republic.
Has it worked before in Fall of the Republic?
I
I think so.
don't. Maybe, probably, possibly.
I mean, let me see.
I haven't changed it. Like the AI scripts, the triggers in there are all there for Fall of the Republic AI scripts. There's no change there.
Okay.
There's nothing special in that. So for some reason, it's not popping up in the newsfeed, and I don't know why.
Are we using these? And we still use the same diagnostic script for
Yeah.
everything. Okay.
It may not. It may be something with the. What tells it? Factions or things. For some reason, some of the planets when they're taken over are missing as well. Like some of the Conquer text.
Yeah, so I'm playing CIS. I just got attacked at Duro, and I had no idea that it was happening because it didn't pop up in the news feed. But it said week 9, an enemy fleet is about to invade Duro in the standard droid log. So yeah, that's don't know what's happening there. So neither side is getting, neither the CIS nor the Republic are getting alerts about incoming fleets in the news feed. And I think that was honestly one of the best things about the news feed. So that not working is a shame.
I wonder if it has to do with corruption.
I mean, and you're sure that the AI uses the same Conquer opponent plan?
Yep, and the plans that they do have that are unique are all set up to have the alert in the appropriate location. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, me neither. Oh wait, it could be playing with the news source. Let me check that.
Hawks' poor keyboard is just getting absolutely murdered.
Okay, well, I'm happy to say that Droidicas have been soundly nerfed, and they are no longer the absolute death machines they were before. They're still probably death machines to infantry, but they're not going to completely rip everything to pieces. Scout bikes are way better than they used to be now, so that's good. They're actually usable. I put them in platoons of 8, which I think is much more useful. And their anti-infantry guns actually mean they can kill stuff occasionally. So sad box noises.
Yeah, it's defined in the common game mod Lua thing. So it's good. So if you go into gamemod.lua and then scroll down to where we define the GC event news source, you can see that we're getting the incoming fleet event from the Galactic Conquest and adding it to the news source. And then we add the news source as a source for the news feed.
Okay.
And that should do it. Yes.
And yet, I don't know why it isn't. It's very strange. Because there's not a different game scoring for Fall of the Republic, and that's the only other thing that I could that like receives the information.
Yeah, no, game scoring has nothing to do with.
Okay, that's good to know. It's
Honestly,
just global.
No offense. I thought Corey would be fat.
Oh my god.
So Sorry to interrupt. I just felt like that needed to be shared.
No, that warranted an interruption. That's incredible.
Well, Corey,
Thank you, whoever said that.
you
That's-
have a fat-sounding voice.
Apparently, I don't know
I
what
can-
that
I can-
means.
I can assure the viewers that Corey is not fat.
We
He's not
have met in
secretly
real
hiding
life.
it under the table, on his webcam or anything. He's not being incredibly sneaky like that. No, don't
Even
worry.
the weird emotionless thing in the top right corner is not a puppet.
Did the German guy just call me a weird emotionless thing?
Indeed, that is precisely what happened. Oh man, Jedi might be OP now. That's great. You're gonna have a great time in your Republic playthrough, Corey.
Yeah, they're definitely OP. I did some testing beforehand, and Anakin like rushed the Sereno victory point, was getting shot at a lot, and wasn't dying. I was like, fix this after
I'm
I
just-
start.
I'm just watching Yoda just spin around, do his spinny around thing, and
Yoda,
and
I
then they
think, can
bombed
target
me.
vehicles with the Berserk, and other people can't. So
Oh yeah, Yoda is just
That should
and he's
probably
also
change.
smaller, so he's harder to hit. He's like
I
all small characters in video games.
Yeah.
OP.
that's why everyone plays like Halo and stuff with the female Spartans, because they made the model smaller, and I think they made the hitbox slightly smaller for him as well.
Oh wow!
I don't know if it's just like placebo or if it's actual factual. Okay, so that is now slightly more agnostic.
Why it's not working.
Now the Republic's just coming here and killing the Duros. That's rude.
For some reason, we still have elect, conquest, governments, and then the NR government in the common game mod script reference. So that shouldn't.
Wasn't me.
Oh, I thought you deleted that when you changed the way.
Yeah, I thought so
fixed the
too.
thing.
I'm surprised it doesn't crash. Well,
I'm surprised it doesn't.
I removed the line because the news source doesn't spec this kind of input. So the incoming fleet was referenced after that, but because, well, put in the election held event instead of the fleet event, and the fleet event after that, the fleet event was ignored. And yeah,
Okay, now we know.
yeah, but then I'm not sure why it works for Imperial Civil War.
It just does. Okay, don't question it.
It just works.
It just works. Oh.
Okay,
God.
so I'm gonna push something. I'm going to push that, and I'll let
Okay.
you guys check it out because I only have my laptop now.
I
Can't
know
play.
you don't want to start the game. We understand. It's okay. You want to mod the game while never playing it.
Want is a strong word. Okay, so right now this is only going to work if you are playing the Republic. But if this works, then I can make that check who you're playing. We'll have an agnostic accumulate mission.
Ooh.
It'll be welcome to be a guest on all Bill Maher talk shows. Do 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 do. I have to modify it slightly, or else Alex Trebek is going to come to my house and beat the shit out of me.
Well, that would be a weird thing for him to have on his bucket list.
Hey, we're both from Ottawa, or we both are from U Ottawa. the Alex Trebek building. It's actually just a repurposed house, but it
Whatever
is
works.
named after him. All right. In
Corey,
what
have
way
you-
will it crash now?
Have you pulled the latest update?
I have not.
No, Corey likes to have merge commits randomly scatter through the log instead.
Well, if people
I-
change stuff while I'm working on it,
I know, but you can do this thing called pull and then push, but that's okay. Anyway, I've started it. Don't worry, Pox. I'll give it a test.
Okay.
I'll play the Republic. I'm guaranteed to be attacked in the first week or two, so it should tell me pretty quickly.
well,
And
I'm
if
also
that
breaking
works,
stuff.
can you check if it still works for ICW?
Oh, I mean, I can go check that as well, I guess, in a moment. But ICW is not getting a patch for a little while, so if it's broken
At least 2
internally,
weeks.
if it's broken internally, it doesn't matter. And it's not broken on Steam, so everything's fine.
Yay.
Eh?
How are you tonight? Sorry for the insult. I mean, I was fine, but my girlfriend left me with a lot of cookies, so
Is that just all you've been eating then?
technically no, but
But mostly yes.
there's a lot of cookies. I've also eaten pizza, which doesn't help my case.
Incredible.
Mission manager, mission distributor assign.
Yes, it works.
Nice.
An enemy fleet is about to invade Arinda
Hey,
because the Intergalactic Banking Clan.
time to
it's
re-record the
unhappy.
first episode of my playthrough because that is good information to have.
I don't think you need to re-record another entire playthrough again. That
God, that has just made me so sad about the Empire of the Hand one because I'm not sure if it's going to
know.
break again.
it's yeah.
I mean, this is a Lua update, so maybe you will get the.
No,
Yeah,
it stores the scripts.
Ah,
Just gonna stare creepily into the camera until the game starts. Thanks, debug mode.
so, did anyone understand why we got the save crashes in ICW before I fixed it?
Did anyone understand?
Yeah, because I knew what caused them, but I don't know why it caused.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I understand in the sense that I understand you fixed it.
Yeah, I know that
Yeah,
it was crashing. I understood when the game was no longer there and I saw my desktop, but that was the extent of my understanding.
Well,
I mean,
what I did was I had this game mod class, and it had an update method in which it called a method called mod specific update, and then I derived from the game mod class and implemented the mod specific update method in there.
oh, I see.
And
I don't
but there
see-
was an empty template for it in the base game mod. So it's not that the method was missing in the base class. Yeah, but I have no idea why. I mean, it's not an up value, so I have
And
no
it
idea.
sounds like maybe it ended up involving some weird stuff with because aren't your classes basically meta tables?
Yeah, they are.
So it's probably one of those weird meta table bugs
Yeah,
that EAW has, or it might be a metatable bug that's just in Lua 5.0. Like it's a really old version of Lua.
that's true,
So
yeah.
that's part of the problem.
I mean,
it's just
I
an old
know
version.
that deriving classes that basic inheritance basically works because that's what we are doing with the observable, right? We have tons
Sure.
of events use observable as a base class, and we can call attached listener and notify on all these classes. Yeah, I think I've never overridden a method before.
Well, there you
Add it
go.
to the list of stuff we can't do.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty sad because, well, polymorphism.
Overriding methods is fun, kids.
Yeah, that's
Yes, it is.
one thing that makes object orientation really great.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah, it's
Nolan.
Nolan.
I had to check
That's fine.
to see if it was you or Hex, because Hex just said something in the chat.
That's fair. I'm just working on starting forces. So yeah.
No, that's all very important because currently the Republic gets splattered.
But they
So
have
Nolan-
more to start with than the CIS.
It's the sub factions that all attack at the same time
Yeah.
and kill your stuff piecemeal. That's the issue.
Yep, it's a you have to do a defense in depth, but instead they just.
I mean, and to be fair, we're not the best people to test because, like, I find this comparatively easy as either faction on Cruel Admiral.
Yeah.
So
We should get Lone Ranger too.
Blitzkrieg.
Yeah,
AI
None of the
has
factions
no
ever had a
defense.
chance to attack me. I don't understand what everyone's complaining about.
he was suggesting that I put in a thing where if the player takes 5 planet, like some amount of planets, the AI just like loses all inhibition, basically.
I'd be fine with that. If you get
I
like
mean-
10 planets in 10 minutes, just like go to him, AI.
There, some of the events I'm thinking about scaling them with how well the player is doing.
That would be sensible.
Like the
That
Yuzon
would
Vong
be good.
invasion, if you're like struggling, I'm not gonna smack you with some squirrel skippers.
Yes.
If you have blitzed 50 planets in 10 weeks,
Enjoy the fucking
Then-
world.
welcome to fucking Pain Down.
Enjoy the world ships on the edge of your
Yeah.
systems, boys.
Yeah. Yep. Oh man, that's probably going to need new damage and armor type, isn't it?
Yay!
Armor for
Vong
crabs.
armor should have a separate armor because it's really good against like diffusing energy stuff.
Yeah.
and-
Or we give them all like the blaster absorb ability from.
That
Yeah.
also, that's probably how we do the Dovin basils.
I was thinking a mix of the point defense that's always on and absorption.
Yeah. I think the point defense works because it means you can overwhelm it, which is how they were.
That's kind of
vulnerable
what I
in
was thinking with it. Is like
Yeah.
if you have a tie shooting at a coral skipper, it won't die. But if you have 2 ties
Yeah.
shooting at a coral skipper, it will die quickly.
Because point defense can actually shoot down anything, right? Doesn't have
Yeah.
to just shoot.
Yeah,
down
no, you
armor.
just need to projectile
This is
type.
actually something Code User and I worked on a long time ago. That we got it
Nope.
to where we
If we-
wanted, and then
When we do the space work, I'm kind of tempted to make like the projectiles of actual HP, so that laser cannons on ships have a use.
have the
So it
projectiles.
means they can actually do point defense. Yeah, it's doable
Oh,
on the torpedoes
yeah.
and assault missiles.
I thought you
Yeah.
meant make turbo
You just need
lasers
to get
get
them a
shot by
collision box.
lasers and then die.
No,
by
no,
missiles.
Like the turbo lasers and assault missiles ends up working pretty well
Hmm.
if you just give them a collision box and treat them as a bomber.
Okay, how?
It's
When you
pretty
say it works
doable.
pretty well. I'm sure it's doable, but what kind of performance?
It's I did it in
does have?
personal bots. Like there wasn't really, I didn't see any issues with it because it's just the AI can't control them.
I think this is a
That's
thing
so it just
where
falls
we
into
might
targeting
get
fire.
some benchmarking if we
Yeah.
do something like that. Because I'm
Yeah.
already worried about point defensibility being on all the time on some units.
Keep in mind though, it wouldn't be any ability; it'd just be the weapons tracking.
Yeah,
So
but
when
it's,
you
Yeah,
lag
that's
you
all
in
it
a
would
normal.
be.
that's,
Point defense is just instant.
you're not
scan.
reassuring me.
If you have if there's they're alive the same amount of time, they just have HP tracking. That's all. That's the only difference, really.
But it also means that, so for example, 12 proton torpedoes all have 2 HP. They head towards a laser cannon hardpoint. The laser cannon hardpoint has 12 targets it can target, which go and die one after the other, very close to the laser cannon. That's the kind of thing that concerns me. And then a K-wing,
Mission
you've got
log
36
updated.
torpedoes from a K-wing squadron or more. That
Isn't it 48 plus some
Yeah.
missiles?
so it's
Nolan, I
maybe-
suggest you get a lawyer and let. Actually, I murdered 6 children.
Anyway, good news, Pox. It works in ICW as well.
Oh, great.
All fixed. Everything's wonderful.
Everything
Regardless,
is
it should be
awesome.
nice
I
to
still
fight
don't know why
something
it
that
worked
isn't
before in
a snail
ICW,
tank.
but I guess.
What was that, Nolan?
It should be nice to fight something that isn't a snail tank when you do ground battles.
Yes. Yes. In general, ground battles should be much better, I hope, and more varied. And the AM, since you should be able to bring the combat power and unit costs into your LP, because that's just XML
Yeah.
changes to
Especially by moving
existing
the
units.
units over for Haynes's VO. Anyways.
because otherwise you might get the AI attacking you with some really weird ground unit compositions. Oh, that's the next thing I need to do. The thing that you can't move over, so I'll do it in a separate commit. But I need to change how the AI understands anti-vehicle and anti-infantry combat power.
But can you change how the AI understands love?
No.
Oh, okay. It's fine.
There's basically a really annoying table, which is it's like this is exactly the kind of programming that Pox hates. It's PG AI commands. It's literally just a list of category masks, contrast types, and how strong, and then multipliers, which essentially determine how strong each category mask is against a given other category type. So, for example, the current thing here, if the thing you're shooting at is infantry, anti-infantry gets a 4 times multiplier at its ability to kill infantry. But that's technically not correct anymore. What should be correct is that, in fact, anti-infantry stuff is 1.0. Anti-infantry applies all of its combat power to infantry, but vehicles by default will apply less combat power to infantry because they tend to have anti-vehicle weapons. I probably need to just add in a bunch of all the other anti-whatever categories so that it understands that. Otherwise, it's going to get awkward. But that's partly how auto-resolve can be tuned as well, because this actually is taken into account in auto-resolve. What happens is, in auto-resolve, the game lines up all of the unit types that you have, checks their categories, and then it goes into PGAI commands and calculates which is the best category to face off against the enemy category. So if you have infantry defending a planet, and the enemy sends anti-infantry plus anti-vehicle, the anti-infantry units will be preferentially sent against the infantry in auto-resolve. I think. It's not as clear as it should be, but that's kind of how it works.
I'm slightly concerned given the progressive script and the non-progressive Clone Wars campaign seem to have different planets but use the same spawn scripts. Is there going to be an issue with that? Like, what happens if it tries to spawn something on a planet that's not in?
It's already set up to handle
That's
that.
handled.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't need to worry about
That's
that.
how we have different scales of progressive cheese.
Okay, I'm just checking.
No, that's
something
cool.
we usually do.
That's why ICW it's quite nice because
Custom
honestly,
spawn function.
The fact that we have the era scripts now, the era stuff, we could honestly replace nearly every single, even the historical campaigns. The majority of starting forces could just be replaced with era.
I suppose if I actually get around to the post-era 2 starting forces, we can re-add the slider.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to do that this weekend? Actually, no, I can't this weekend.
I think we'll
or
probably
during the
wait
day
until
is
beta
fine.
is starting.
Okay,
And then-
I can do that. I forgot I was busy this weekend anyway, so sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
System control achieved.
We'll make people play in Era 1 for a bit, and then...
Yes, they can savor the Acclimator 2s and Droideka 2s when they get to them.
Indeed.
We need worse players for the testing task force who can't immediately blitz through the game.
It's true. That's the problem. Once testers get to a certain point of doing lots of testing,
Mission log.
they become so
updated.
good that all they can do is test for bugs. They can't retest for balance. Oh well.
I don't think we'll really be in open beta that long.
Probably not. Just long enough for people to say, this is broken. That's all I need to hear is if there's enough people in an open beta where someone will be like, this one unit is ridiculously OP, for example.
Hey,
Yeah.
I did fix the Arquitens.
Mission
It could
lost.
kill most cruisers. It no longer kills most cruisers.
Rangers Architects for the last 2 Republic playthroughs has been nerfed this. It's not assigning accumulate, but it's not. Oh, it is crashing the script. That's good. He said, crying inside. Agnostic, yes. That's, yeah. Zero, 003. You know what? I'm gonna use debug.
Sometimes that's all you have to do.
Usually I try to at least look and see if it's just something stupid I've missed, but right now.
See, but you can't kill 11 aces in a single grand battle easily because they're now Tech 3. And I've removed the starting forces once.
No, don't remove the Spartans.
Yeah, sorry.
Is this similar to Republic at War mod to a degree? To the degree that they're both Empire at War mods that take place in the Clone Wars. But mechanically it's the same as Thrawn's Revenge.
With some updates.
Yeah, which is itself no longer as similar to Thrawn's Revenge, so including in name. I haven't checked the poll, but it seemed to be going
Yeah.
Do you want to call it?
Eckhart's Ladder presents the Empire at War mod.
Empire at War 2, obviously best mod name.
Based on just how videos perform on my
That's how we
channel,
always say
I think
remake.
the best mod we need, or the best title we can have is How to Install Republic at War. That's going to be...
Sigh. Classic Bob Sigh.
Oh, we could call it Republic at War 2.
No, I think Fall of the Republic is going to stay
no.
Fall of the Republic, but the team name, we can still call ourselves the Thrawn's Revenge team, but something more broad for where Thrawn's Revenge currently goes, because that is very specific and no longer accurate. And then Imperial Civil War, when there's like Vong stuff going on, is like,
Yeah.
here's the most niche thing in the mod. Let's focus on that.
Yeah, but I mean, we can still call it we can still call it Republic at War 2.
I don't think we want to do that.
New Republic.
New Republic at War?
No. Republic at War 2.
Call Imperial Civil War New Republic at War. Keep Fall of the Republic as Fall of the Republic.
Republic 2 at War.
But so would that be the Imperial Civil War title because the New Republic is Republic 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Republic 2.
I'm not enjoying this naming option.
Okay. Empire War 4X, Empire War 2020, and then we change the mod every year.
Achieved.
Or Empire War 4X 2020 edition. Even when I go into the debug build to see what's making it crash, there's still part of me that gets disappointed when it does crash.
But at least it tells you. At least it tells you.
If you're lucky.
What about Alliance? I think Alliance is a great name.
No.
Fall of the Alliance. Rise of the Alliance?
I want to go for something because, like, for the overall mod, it's going to be applied to whatever, like, it's going to be before Fall of the Republic, and it's going to be
Mission
before
log
whatever
updated.
Imperial Civil War becomes. So it less specific about the content type, more about what it does, or just
So
themey.
call it Empire at War expansion.
I think like because we're taking from like Grand Strategy or 4X games as much as we are, that 4X works for that, but then we could also emphasize like that we got a bunch of stuff across Legends and we can do it like
Empire at War Paradox Edition.
Empire at War Sagas, Empire at War Legends, Empire at War 2020, Empire at War McClunky Edition.
Empire or Big Chunk Edition. I'm getting banned, aren't I?
Probably not.
Everyone here respects you less, but probably not banned. Right. Why crash? Does this even come up?
That's the mark of a comedian, right? Just the right amount of self-depreciating stuff. Mixed with a good amount of insults and some general dissatisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna make a therapist very happy someday. Missions accumulate. Attempt to index global event. A nil value.
Stop indexing nil values. Jeez.
Event equals plot dot get event. Okay, is the plot even there? Intervention accumulate credits agnostic. Intervention accumulate credits agnostic. Accumulate credits 0002. Accumulate credits 00 03 though. Go fuck yourself.
Do you mind if I add Columbus and Com to the large GC? I know it's already pretty full, but in terms of actual planetary importance, they are a bit more useful than a lot of options like Teth because they do have the cloning bonus.
As long as they're in a place where it doesn't interrupt the actual flow too much, then that would be fine.
Let's see. Com is in the southern core. That would
Columbus is
basically-
in Eastern Core.
Yeah, Columbus is basically in that whole like milieu of planets that the Trade Federation usually goes after. It's kind of tight in there.
Save your
Com
secondary cloning site.
Com is basically just going to be a weird Republic outpost near Fondor. My concern with Com is it splits up the Forust Fondor lane. Because it's kind of right between them. If I recall correctly. Or is it south of Fondor? I've played like the Phoenix Rising Core Worlds map so many damn times. You think I'd remember this?
Remember
I'm
that
just
Phoenix
asking because
Rising
we're in the
on the
Forest
Steam.
campaign, so it's kind of odd for the Forest campaign to have more cloning sites than the large GCs.
Like the biggest concern is just the Techno Union's territory is so split up to begin with, and then that's one more thing for the Republic player to be like, oh, I'm gonna die, aren't I? So it's like that's a planet that is definitely gonna be taken over by the Techno Union, and it seems like it'd just make the Republic sad.
Com is okay. It's near Thermork. You could. It is in a
Sufficient
weird
ground
place.
garrison, and you should be able to hold it.
I think you'd have to just do something like a direct connection to Corellia, maybe. Like go
Something we can
contact
hash
Corellia.
out for later, because like 0.5 has a few GCs, doesn't exactly have much in that.
Planetary control
Yeah.
achieved.
Yeah, but yeah, it is between Fondor and Forust.
Because either way, that breaks up Fondor, Forest, Volpter, which is kind
It's
of
a pretty important core holding, yeah.
Yeah, the CIS without Volpter, or at least without the option to defend Volpter relatively easily, is kind of rough on them.
Hence why I asked.
Yeah, it's fine. I think Columbus is probably fine, just because it's already in that kind of area anyway. You just put in a connection from Rendili and connect it back up the trade route
Mission log
to
updated.
maybe even to Volta.
I mean, if they started CIS or CIS sub-faction...
Columbus, I could see starting neutral or warlord slash.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see Columbus just being a buffer, basically, between Rendili and Volta.
Because I'd
That
be
might be
fine
CIS.
with that, even if it would involve some fudging. But
I'll hold off for now. We can do more GC stuff later.
Mm-hmm.
all right, limit blend.
So, are the command bars final?
The command bars.
Yeah, the
For Republican
The
CIS.
UI updates.
yeah.
No, I think I don't know. I think it looks like you did make the Republic one less bright for the minimap. The
Yeah,
CIS.
the Republic one is pretty close to done, I would say. It can be
Yeah.
tweaked
Oh,
if you have suggestions, but
I'm not sure what
Mission log updated.
I think it looks pretty flat and
that's fair. I
not
can see what I
really-
can do about shading. It was difficult to render it. That was
Okay,
honestly one of the problems I had was rendering it to make it look reasonable.
and
So-
some of the circles are a little pixely.
4K UI.
I mean, yeah, it's the same resolution as the existing.
Oh, it's so it
What?
has nothing to do with my 4K screen.
But yeah, it's the same resolution. It's only freaking 1024 by 256 pixels.
Oh, mhm.
I think
Yeah,
we can do
that's-
those as 4K textures in it.
I
or
could at least
2K.
do it as 2K. I could at least do it as 2K and it would be fine. That's definitely so. I just did it as the resolution because that's the resolution it was at for the standard ICW ones. I agree. Mostly the lack of depth is because there isn't much shading, because it's all just black. It's just
Yeah.
shiny black and red.
And the part where you have the build queue
Yeah.
is a bit weird, I think.
Yeah, it's meant to be like, so it's meant to look like the Venator control panels in EA Battlefront 2, which have a kind of flat back with screens on. They curve down towards the bottom and they have an angled upward piece with all those extra buttons on, which is the buttons are there, but
Mhm.
it does the shading isn't as strong, so it isn't as clear that's what's going on.
I wish I still had the lighting set up from when I rendered the Imperial one.
Yeah, that would have been helpful. I could have just sent you the model.
I wonder if I do have
well.
it.
It's the kind of thing that could be iterated on really, really easily. It was just
Okay, what was I doing? Oh, story detail. Tailor detail, story detail. I need to find the player. Lock unit, set tech level. Okay, it's not in story util. Need to get the player object.
yay. Okay, I need to head off.
Alright, see you later.
Good fun,
Alright.
guys. Take care.
Bye.
The Mon Calamari models are all getting redone soon. Vertex. And Rogue. I did the ones a few months ago that were there, but some of them that have a Fall of the Republic version don't have an ICW version, and vice versa. So some of those may need to be checked before they can get added to the script. And right now, Fall of the Republic's the default. Why is player object nowhere? Is player object just something the game recognizes? Is that a thing?
Player object depends on where you are. For interventions, I think does.
Well, this is technically not an
Regular
intervention.
story script, I don't think.
Yeah.
You don't have it.
Okay, well, this will probably need to get changed, but
As I said, you can just pass in the human player from the Galactic Conquest.
yeah. But I don't know if I know how to do that. I think I can just do that. Where is that defined? Was that in the Galactic Conquest, Lua? Yeah, self-human
Yeah.
player.
Galactic Conquest dot. But you will have to pass it down from the game mod to your mission distributor, wherever you need it.
I think I'm just gonna get find human player in table. Whatever. I'm sure someone can do this better than me, but whatever. So we don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. Someone else just joined?
No. I unmuted. Phone.
Oops, this is agnostic. All right, the accumulate mission is now mostly agnostic.
Ooh, nice. So you only have to load in the XMLs now.
Yes.
Okay, you can do me another favor.
Oh boy. What is it?
Yeah, so you have in all your story.
Player agnostic plot? Is that what you're gonna
Oh yeah,
say?
yeah. You don't need that, but I don't really care about that. That's not the thing I'm talking about. You have this if accumulate observer thread. So you have this line if accumulate observer thread, then and then empty and then else. So
Do you want me to do not?
yeah, that
Because
would be nice.
I was thinking that I wanted to go potentially back to assign a different mission if it wasn't, so we'd need that.
Okay.
I'm just not sure how to do that. But I can change that.
Yeah, I'd probably.
Yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
do that then. And we can change that if we need to.
I'd probably just at some point you'd probably want to return true or false depending on initiating the mission was successful, and
Yeah.
if it wasn't, you'll probably go and try some other mission.
That should work for both. Okay. Now that should work for both factions out of one thing.
Nice.
It's only marginally longer.
See, it's not that bad to do some abstract stuff. Oh, why are the rebels so popular and cheap?
Huh?
The rebels, why are they unpopular? Kashyyyk. You're reducing the influence on Kashyyyk every week. If it's owned by the rebels.
Because right now it's set up for Fall of the Republic, I think.
Oh,
Because that's the CIS. We need to make
Ah.
the planet modifiers be done by the mod content loader and have
Yeah.
those in a table. But right now it's all in one place.
uh-huh.
And here. Okay, that should work. Except for this part. There. Now that should work. Oh shit, it's been 3 hours. Alright, I'll test this and then I think that'll probably be it for the stream. Because I still need to record an episode for tomorrow.
I should probably get to bed.
Alright. Good night,
5 a.m.
Box.
Bye.
Well, I'll stay around to see if it.
See if it's as abstract as you dreamed.
Yeah. And sleep way better if this.
See, why is my whole family using different beds? So that means we just have to make the bed 4 times. When if we all just took shifts sleeping in the same bed, then we only have to make the bed once. Way more abstract.
Well, more like perhaps.
System control achieved.
So, what's your sleep schedule like nowadays?
It is absolute trash for the last week or so.
Okay.
Some of my friends went home for Christmas and assigned 3 of us to or asked 3 of us to help watch their cat, and my roommate was going to do a lot of it, but he's got some family stuff going on, so I kind of took over his part for that. So I went in the morning to look after the cat, but that was at like 6 a.m. till 8 a.m. and I hadn't gone to bed yet, so I went to bed when I got home and posted the video, which was probably like 10 a.m. So I got up at like 6 p.m. Thanks, China. Appreciate it. But yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, I should. I don't know. Probably stay awake for 24 hours at some point.
Yeah.
Great. Great
Send-
chance for a 24-hour stream.
Yay! All right, this is.
I know you love those.
None of this is correct. Okay. Either way, it's not crashing the game, so I'm happy with that. I'll just probably need to change 1 or 2 things. Let's see if it fires that properly. 25,000. I do need to do another 12-hour stream at some point. Mission completed. Save your credits. We're good. Got the thing. Does that mean I got 2
Mission
minutes
log
somewhere?
updated.
I need to make it display where the planet is, but I wasn't able to put that into a variable for the text, so I wasn't sure what was going on there. Either way.
Someone tossed a coin to his mother.
Oh God, I don't like the song. Is this a me problem? Is everyone else?
No,
I don't think it's.
I don't like it either.
necessarily a great song, but it's catchy.
Is it just because I watched it on its own and didn't, or I listened to the
Yeah.
song on its own and wasn't watching the show for real? Either way, good night, everyone. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your holidays.
Not everybody.
Bye.